So Monique went on Club Shay Shay. And man, did she go on the show. So I can't give you all of it. It was damn near a 3-hour interview. I don't have the kind of time. But here are some of the highlights about D.L. Hughley. Here you go.
And there's a brother named D.L. Hughley.
Yep.
And until he take accountability, I won't let it go. I do DL's radio show.
Yes.
D.L. Hughley is not there. His team is there. Mm-hmm. And Shannon, we having a great time. I mean, baby, we having a great time. We going forward, back and forth. When we get to the end of the show, they said, Monique, we want to play a game of Would You Rather. Let's go. Would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one? I said to the team, how does that uplift our community? I said, sister, and her name is Jasmine, how could you ask another sister that? Well, we just planned. I said, tell me the joke in that, because I don't know what you're insinuating. Then you're involving people that have nothing to do with nothing. Like, what are y'all doing? So I said, I'm going to call my brother. DL. Hey, DL. Yeah. I said, listen, I just got off the phone with your team and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like, stupid. Like, asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens, and his exact words, well, that's how we do it. I said, DL, how does that uplift our community? And again, I don't know what y'all trying to insinuate, but brother, what you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do it. So it is what it is. Now, it got so ugly that my attorney had to send a cease and desist. So it never aired. So we have, like, when Cat Williams talk and people, truth tellers talk, we have receipts to everything we're saying.
She had more to say. Here it is.
Through the years, I've watched DL speak ill of me. Through the years. I never knew DL Hughley had a problem with me. But when Cat said they all a group, he forgot to put D.L. Hughley in the group. Mm-hmm. Through the years, I was bitter. I was dangerous with what I was doing, saying that it was inequality. My husband didn't know what he was doing. This went on through the years. I was unloved, all of these things. And I said to myself, I'ma see you. I'ma see you. Now we have a show in Detroit. Contractually, I was the headliner. D.L. Hughley posted a memo. Now, when you signed your deal for the Ravens, did you sign a contract or a memorandum?
I signed a contract.
You see how you say that? Like anybody that knows good business, you signed. The memo is saying, this is what I would like.
Right.
But the contract is saying, this is what it is. Okay?
Yes.
He put out a memo to our community. And that touched me a little different because I was saying, why would you lie to our babies? D.L. Hughley didn't come into the building until 9:30. Now, contractually, I said I have to be on stage by 9:30 because if the show starts at 8, I refuse to keep an audience waiting.
Right.
That is disrespectful to the audience.
Correct.
When I went out on that stage, Shannon, I made sure everything I said, he heard me. Because now you're here and I'm going to say it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said some things on that stage that I said he was cowardly. And some folks said, how could you say that? How could you do that? And then I posted some things to say, this is what I meant. See, you came after my husband. And when you had a chance to fix it, when you had a chance to say, Mo, my bad, you know, we don't even get down like that.
Right.
You told me it is what it is.
All right. Now, D.L. Hughley provided a response on his social media. Here's some of it.
So every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she said she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who as a comedian talks as much about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not gonna find? You're not gonna find any evidence of that because Monique's she's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says D.L. Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story.
All right. And, well, DL gets, takes personal shots.
In response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't with you? How do you love us for real when there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real, except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay? And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet and warm to people, except when she's using it to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody you, not even your family? There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you. It's sad. There's an old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to.
You know, I didn't want to get involved, but I am. So DL is lying. Okay? And I'm going to tell you what he's lying about. Monique has plenty of footage, pictures, videos of amazing community outreach, giving back to universities, non-for-profits. I've never known Monique to lie. As many times as I've interviewed Monique and Sydney, I've never known them to lie. I have, on occasion, thought maybe they were wrong on something. I was proven wrong. When everything came out, Monique was telling the truth. But I have to push back on this. I hate to see all this happening, by the way. But I have to push back on this because my dear sister did something that did not get a lot of coverage, but it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And you can find it. It's on YouTube. I used to host these conversations in front of my college students called Leadership Talks. This was when I was a neophyte professor in about 2016, 2017. And we would put these live conversations on the university's YouTube channel. So Monique came. Monique did not charge a penny. Monique did not require any kind of special this or special that. She showed up, Sydney showed up. Monique came on stage. We had students galore. We had maybe 300-400 people there. She was scheduled to be there 30 minutes. She stayed over 2 hours. She answered every single question in the audience. And then at the end, when as the host, I'm trying to make sure I can usher her to her next appointment because we're way over time now. I've overextended my welcome here. She's been too generous. She stops and she says, I want to hug everybody. I want to talk to everybody who wants to talk with me. Remember, there are no cameras now. Cameras are off. All right. The interview's gone. It's done. And she says, but I need all of my seniors. All of my seniors, I want you to come to the front. And I'm talking about not seniors in the sense of college seniors. We're talking about some of the senior citizens that came from the community to see her. And she hugged and spoke to every single one of them. And then she did all of the senior males the same way. And continued this hierarchy based on age. and spoke to hundreds of people. Not one single piece of footage is available for that. But I was there. All those students were there. Okay? But you can find the entire interview at YouTube, Beulah Heights University. And I've seen her do things in ways that she doesn't promote them. I've seen her show up for people and not put it on her Instagram. I've seen her donate money to organizations and say, baby, just leave my name out of it. I just want to make sure y'all okay. So I have to push back because I know truth. All right, Yasmin, thoughts here.
Yeah, I am not done with this interview yet. As you mentioned, it's 3 hours long, but I'm already obsessed. I'm working my way through it. I was listening to it this morning when I was doing my makeup. However, I didn't finish it, but I did watch the DL Hughley portion. And when she first started talking about it, it didn't seem like such a bad thing that had happened. She was upset by the question of the game. She had legitimate concerns about the nature of the game. But when she approached DL Hughley about it, he blew her off, according to her. It could have been such a simple conversation. He could have just, heard her, empathized with her, understood where she was coming from. He says that he pulled the segment. She said she had to get her lawyers involved before that happened. So we're in a bit of a he said, she said. But then even when she thought that was the end of it, she says now that DL Hughley was still, according to her, acting defensively against her, even affecting her career when she was supposed to headline a couple of shows. So his response, though, he talks about her health and her weight, which is totally unnecessary and irrelevant. He says that she has to pay her husband to love her. And I'm assuming he's referring to the fact that her husband is also her manager with that comment. I don't blame Hughley for being defensive, and it's totally understandable that he would want to present his side of things. But this response feels like an overreaction. The personal attacks really don't look good. They don't legitimize his message. If he wanted to contest the things that Monique said, and if he feels that things played out differently in the past than what he heard her report on the show, he could have just said that. He could have just had a conversation with Monique about this instead, but he decided to release this video. And unfortunately, I don't know Monique personally like you do, but from what I know of her as a public figure, she has been pretty consistent in her messaging throughout the years. So I think that counts for something.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I like DL. I always thought he was a funny guy.
Yeah.
And he said some things that to me have been politically significant over the years.
Yeah.
So I hate that this is happening. And I will also say this, Sydney and Monique, they have one of the most loving relationships I know. It's not a Hollywood relationship. It's definitely a different type of relationship, but talk about authentic love. It's going to be difficult to ever authentically say they are not authentically in love.